So today is my birthday, but that's not going to stop Colorado from preparing for this upcoming spring camp. Therefore, I got to continue to give you guys content. In this video, we have Charles Kelly in an interview. What's good, YouTube? Mag Dog TV back with another video. If you're new here, stopping by for the first time, hit the like, subscribe button, comment. I really appreciate it. Also, click the notification bell. That way, whenever I upload a video, you guys be aware.
All right, thanks everyone for joining us. We'll start with Coach Kelly. Coach, this is most of the people you'll see day to day covering our program, so we just wanted to get you guys in front of them. I'll start with the first one, just how the first 6-8 weeks have gone for you, and then we'll hand it over for them for questions.
Well, it's first of all, it's been a great opportunity to be here. This program has a lot of tradition throughout the years. I know a lot of coaches that have been here, know a lot of players that have played here. So we just want to bring this program back to the success that it's had in the past. You know, it's been a fast 6 to 8 weeks. I don't even realize it's been that long. I finished up at Bama, finished up the bowl game there. So I wasn't out here, a lot before that time. But as quick as I've gotten here, remember, we've hit the ground running, doing everything from evaluation, recruiting, and now, we're into the prep phase for, spring practice and winter conditioning. So everything's been really fast. I've tell you what, it's been amazing just how much help we've gotten from the people since we've been here. The players have been very responsive to what we're trying to do. And, right now we're in a big part of the evaluation phase. I think one thing that you do as a coach all the time, you're always evaluating every day, whether you're evaluating prospects, where you're evaluating your current team, or you're evaluating the personnel that works with you. And then you're recruiting every day. You're recruiting new personnel. You're recruiting, you're looking for talented people that can fit into your staff. And then, you're constantly doing those things. So that's the things that we've been working on. I've enjoyed working with the staff. Coach Prime has been great. He's given us all the resources that we need to be successful, and we're looking forward to the growth that we need to have.
First few words was everything I expected. It's a full-time grind. There's no days off, and that's why I'm here in front of the camera right now giving you guys content. They don't care if it's my birthday. I can turn up later. If I didn't believe that these guys was coming, I would be out right now turning up on my birthday, but instead I'm here in front of the camera giving you guys content. He mentioned that it's a full-time evaluation. They're always evaluating whether they can touch the football field or not. Trust me, they're watching. That's why it's important for these guys to give their absolute best. For granted, some of these guys got it made. They know they're going to start, but some of these guys are really trying to make the team and fighting for a roster position.
Hey Coach, Nick Sabans, CU Sports Report. You spent a lot of time in your coaching career in the South. I'm just curious, why did you make the move to Colorado, and what excited you about this opportunity?
It's interesting. So when I finished college and first got into coaching, one of the most dominant programs in the country at that time was Colorado. I was a young defensive back coach, and at that time, Colorado probably had the best defensive backs and one of the best defenses in the country. One of the first coaches that I ever clinicked with was a guy named Greg Brown, who was here for a long time coach in the NFL. He was one of my early mentors, as a young coach. So I've always been fascinated, with the tradition, of Colorado. I've spent most of my time in the South mainly because that's just kind of where it worked out. I never went into this business saying I want to limit myself to a certain area. And, in recruiting, you have to recruit all over. So when I was at Bama, Florida State, Georgia Tech, we recruited nationwide. So that was good for me to create a lot of relationships and meet a lot of people along the way. And when this opportunity came up, you make decisions based off of people. And when Coach Prime got this job, there was no hesitation for me. I knew it was something that had a chance to be very special, and I wanted to be a part of it.
I've given you guys an interview every day, and every one of these coaches always talking about a mentor or somebody being the reason for where they are today. Every one of these coaches have similarities. I love it. They all humble. They all understand and acknowledge the reason why they're here today.
Hi, Coach. Adam Munster-Tiger from 24/7 Sports. Without giving any secrets away, what do you anticipate your defense looking like here, alignment-wise? What are kind of the identity that you want this defense to have?
Well, I think alignment-wise, I think in college football you have to be very multiple because people do so many things. The game has changed in the last 15 years with with RPOs, multiple formation, and to be honest with you, the rules in football have geared toward the offense being able to do more things than they could a few years back. So we want to be a very multiple defense. We want to be able to adjust to, to things that from week to week. Sometimes when you get into the NFL and pro sports, it's a little bit more limited, to what people do, as far as, like I mentioned, RPO game, things like that. As far as our identity, I tell people all the time, we're going to build our defense based off of what Coach Prime's expectations are. And he says it all the time. We want to be big. We want to be physical. We want to be disciplined. We want to be fast. We want to be tough. So we want to be an aggressive style defense. We want to be an attacking defense. I don't think you can sit back and, wait for things to happen. Now, that being said, you've got to be smart in how you handle things. I think a lot of times you want to be aggressive, but you also want to be smart and make people have to beat you and not give up big plays in games and give up easy scores.
Can you guys imagine how difficult it is today to be a defensive coach with so many rules in his favor? The offense with the RPOs, the spread game, you can't be as aggressive as you was once before, the helmet rules. But one of the things you can coach is heart. You can coach effort. Smart, tough, fast, disciplined with character. Those are the things you can control.
Hey, Coach. Jake Schwanitz, DMVR Sports. Your track record as a recruiter kind of speaks for itself. I'm just curious, from your perspective, what do you think makes you such a great recruiter?
Well, I think, listen, recruiting, and I've said this a lot of times, recruiting is not about one person. It's just like raising a child. It takes a village to raise a child. It takes a village to recruit a player. And I think when you're in charge, or maybe what we call the lead recruiter, if you're the lead recruiter, what you have to figure out is what is that young man looking for? And then from there, you want to put them in contact with the people that, fit those things that he's looking for. I've worked for a lot of great head coaches, and the head coach has a lot to do with how you can recruit. I told somebody the other day, I think one of the things that excited me the most was having an opportunity to recruit for Coach Prime. But there are a lot of people involved. Sometimes you get more of the credit than you deserve, and then sometimes I have impacts on recruiting other players that, maybe I'm not, supposedly my name is on, but it's a group effort, and it always has been. Everywhere I've worked, I've been fortunate enough to work around a lot of good assistant coaches, and they help you along the way in that. But I think in recruiting, it's about building relationships and finding out, doing a lot more listening than you do talking, because people will tell you what they want and what they're looking for, and if you have an opportunity to provide that, then you have a chance to get that player.
Hey, Coach. Eric Christensen with CBS4 TV in Denver. Alabama's had great success over the past however many seasons. But a lot of teams have talent. They've been very talented, but a lot of teams have talent.
Right.
So what's been the secret sauce that's been able to elevate Alabama? And does that secret sauce travel? Can you bring it to Boulder?
Well, I can tell you this. I've been very fortunate to work for Nick Saban. I think, there's no doubt he's proven that he's the greatest of all time, coaching. And he's very intelligent, very smart, but he's very disciplined. And what I learned from Coach is to be consistent in everything you do. And you learn. You don't get complacent. You try to learn. You try to find new things out there that can that can help your program. I would say for Coach Saban and at Alabama is probably the consistency of how he does things. And yes, one of the reasons why I wanted to work for Coach Saban was to be able to work alongside of him and be able to see what he does on a daily basis. So I think when you work with people, there's no doubt that you take things from them that try to help you in the future, and I will definitely do that. Now, I also understand this. You can't copy anybody. You know, you have to have your own personality, and I've said this to the players to begin with. This won't be – this is going to be Colorado's defense. It's going to be our defense. That's what we want it to be, and we want to – but we have to establish, you know, the criteria, and we have to establish our identity, just like you talked about. We've got to do that, you know, consistently. But as far as a magic dust, there is no magic dust. There's a lot of work that goes into it. And, you know, we have a teaching progression that we go through. I think teaching is very important because I believe coaching counts. And I believe from position-wise to scheme-wise, everything, there's a process that you have to go through.
Being coached and learned under Nick Saban, greatest coach to ever coach the game of college football, Alabama being the greatest dynasty that they are, is where Colorado wins by bringing someone in like Coach Kelly. He's learned from Nick Saban. And he also talks about teamwork, relationships, leadership, all of these things. It's almost like all of these coaches are taught to say the same thing, but of course they're not. I'm just telling you guys of how great Coach Prime has built this coaching staff.
Hey, Coach, Tyler King, Denver Gazette. I'm just curious, with all the players, new players you have to get to know, it's also some new assistant coaches working with you on the defensive side. I'm just curious, how has that been so far, kind of getting to know your defensive assistants, and what have you liked so far about the conversations you all have had?
Well, first of all, I think it's a great staff. I've known a lot of these guys for many years. I haven't necessarily worked with everyone, but I have a good relationship. That's the neat thing about coaching. I think off the field, one of the blessings of being a coach is the relationships that you make, because you actually spend more time with each other than you spend with your actual family. Because you think when you come to work in the morning and you leave at night, all day long you're together. So you become a family, and you learn each other's personalities, you know, what everybody's talented in their own way. And I think that's the thing as a leader or a supervisor that you have to find. What you're trying to find is take what everybody does the best and let them do that. And that's been, we've got some talented people in that room. They're very passionate about what they do. They care for kids or young men. So, it's not just about, you can't just care about the football, because if that's all you care about, all right, you're not gonna keep, the attention, and you're not gonna get that loyalty. And so we got a bunch of guys that are relationship oriented, that, it means a lot to them to have those relationships. From a scheme standpoint and information that I've gotten from these coaches and their knowledge, absolutely, it's been amazing. You can tell that the people that they've been around in the past have really taught them well. And, at the end of the day, they're good people. So I think in any job, you like to enjoy going to work. And I look forward to coming to work every day, and being around our staff.
As a football player, when you know your coach loves you, you give him that extra because it's a different type of feeling. It's a different type of relationship you have with your coach, as opposed to a coach just only wants you to catch the football and run and score touchdowns. You do more for that coach that really care about you, that really want to see you win because he cares about you, and that's a huge difference.
Hey, Coach, Jimmy Searfoss, 247 Sports. We've seen the clips from practices like with the tug of war and things like that. How did that come about, and how much has competitiveness and that competitive spirit been instilled in this practice, and how important is that?
Well, everything you do has to be competitive. Every day, because that's going to affect these young men the rest of their lives, because you got to compete the rest of your life. There's somebody, all right, that wants this job right now. So I've got to compete. All right. And so the first thing before you ever talk about a defensive call or play is you got to find the people that will compete. So the only way to do that is to put people in competitive situations. And you mentioned instill competition. What you find out is people by nature are competitive or they aren't. And what you have to do is find out, who is, who's not, and then mold those, young men from there. But, being competitive, I think, is the number one thing because that's going to teach them a value that's going to last them for the rest of their life.
All right, thanks, Coach. Appreciate
All
the
right,
time.
thank you all.
So my final thoughts, this was a very good interview. This interview was everything that I expected. A lot of the things that they speak about in these interviews, we talk about every day. One particular tug of war, I had a subscriber say, how does this compare to being on the football field? It doesn't. You don't play tug of war on the field, but you do compete. And I agree with Charles Kelly. Once you step out of the house, you are already in competitive mode or somebody in competitive mode with you. How do you look? Are you physically fit or are you not? What kind of job do you have? What kind of car are you driving? What kind of shoes you wearing? And it's up to you guys. How do you want to go about this business? Do you care or do you don't care? Do you want to be the best or you don't want to be the best? I'm here today on my birthday because I'm always in competitive mode. There's no days off for me. You know what I'm saying? I have to continue to give you guys content every day. If you guys want to donate as far as my birthday, feel free to help me with the channel. But at the end of the day, anything you donate is for me to be the best that I can be, to provide great content for you guys. So when I can get out there to Colorado, I can do more for you guys. But if you guys like the video, definitely subscribe to the channel.